Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan, and here's your little treat, Joan. Hopefully this will keep you occupied for this video. Guess what? Horrible. The siege on the White House. Oh my God, there'll be so many leftists. They'll be shaking their fists. There was a. Do they have the other one? It's a. What the heck is that? The White Imagination. I don't know what that means. This is Adbusters, their site, by the way. This is their. You can see like it's a very ominous thing here, right? Siege of the White House. They've got the naked girl who was in Portland and opening her hoo ha towards the White House. They've got ominous tear gas and shadows, and they had another flyer. I guess they don't have it here. With everybody had their fist in the air, and there's going to be a siege of the White House. I mean, listen to this description. On September 17th, it will have been 9 years since we set off the political earthquake of Occupy Wall Street, and it may be the perfect day to trigger another global Big Bang movement, a massive collection of action of the sweetest kind of disobedience. Yeah, whoa, oh. So, on September 2nd, I'll read the whole thing. Over the past 9 years, the shadows have only grown longer. Inequality has soared. Not a single, even though everybody had a job 6 months ago. Not a single Wall Street CEO spent a night in jail after the 2008 financial meltdown. I didn't realize losing money is illegal. Politicians and corporate criminals continue to savage the public trust with impunity, and all the while, this howling void of a president, his sins too many to name, sits smugly atop a corona death toll that may surpass 200,000 Americans by Christmas. So, on September 17th, in the original and enduring spirit of Occupy, thousands will lay siege to the White House, drawing wind from Me Too, BLM, Extinction Rebellion. We will once again summon the sweet revolutionary nonviolence that was our calling card in Zuccotti Park. And it's canceled. It's totally canceled. Um, you can see how ominous they painted the picture initially. Then they decided, well, we'll roll it back and call it Adbusters, September 17th White House siege is now 50 days of improv jazz. Oh, well, that's funny. I didn't realize you were all run by theater majors. I mean, I thought you were going to siege the White House. Instead, apparently you're going to do some scenes in front of the White House. You're going to work on some scene work, are you? Oh, improv jazz. Oh, now is that going to be like classic improv like I used to do, or is it going to be jazz that's improvised? Is it music? I don't know. Oh yeah, 50 days. 50 days of that. Yeah. I mean, you could see how that would draw out a lot of people. I mean, I know when I think of 50 straight days of improv, I think, my God, that sounds incredible. That sounds like something I want to lose my job over and spend almost 2 months doing. 50 days, right? Well, guess what? That's canceled too. That's all canceled because it's gonna rain. Right. See, these very tough revolutionaries, Joe. They think they're revolutionaries. These very tough revolutionaries, the ones that are gonna burn down the state and change everything. BLM and Extinction Rebellion. Oh, very ominous. And Me Too. All these people. They're going to get together and they're changing the world. Oh, but if it rains, that would suck. Yeah, no, we're going to forget it. I know, right? I mean, like, how lame do you have to be to put that out? And that's not the real excuse, I don't think. But come on, Adbusters. Come on. Grow a pair. Grow a pair. First off, this was a dumb idea if you thought it could be peaceful. Look, and what you got to understand, these guys are probably crazy artists like me, and they do crazy art things. And their magazine's kind of cool. And the Occupy movement had some good things come out of it. I mean, they actually raised some money, paid off some people's houses. That was nice. But ultimately, they're a disorganized mess, just like Antifa and a lot of these groups, because they want this utopian world that can't function pragmatically, right? So at Occupy, I think it was Occupy, they would have these meetings where everybody was equal. So, like, in order to speak, you had to somehow it had this thing. I want to say you had to snap your fingers or raise your hand. Jesus Christ, Joan! All right, come over here. God damn it! I want to say you had to like snap your fingers or hold your hand up or something, but it was this weird sort of group thing where they tried to have a group conversation. And now most of you out there have probably been at work or jobs in which, you know, if you've had more than 6 people discussing something and they're all equal, you know how that goes, right? It goes terribly. It's like people start arguing, and you know the person who wins usually is either the loudest, the most willful, or the one that just takes control and says, "Eff it, let's just do this and be done." So you can imagine how Occupy Wall Street was when they had like a group of, I don't know, like 50 people trying to do that, trying to get things done, trying to talk over each other, but then, you know, like saying, no, don't talk. A perfect example of it, if you haven't seen it, is that video of the Democratic Socialist of America. It's just the funniest thing ever. They're having a meeting, but they keep getting bogged down on how they're having the meeting, right? So one guy gets up and basically chastises the whole audience for the din in the room because he's very sensitive to sound, and he can't have so much loud sound and talking. And during, you know, while he's chastising everybody, he of course uses the term, "Hey guys," or something like that, which then triggers another socialist in the group to get up after him and then say, "Can we please not use any gendered language because she's trans?" And then she's triggered by that. And it just goes on and on and on. You know, they don't get anything done. So imagine, you know, these people trying to get something done at the White House or trying to get, you know, a protest organized. They end up with this nonsense because, you know, in the Portland and all these other places, they just had tons of people and there was no laws, right? The local government just laid down and made the cops not attack anybody, and you know they let them run amok. So that works when you have a bunch of people. They can run amok and they could just keep doing worse and worse stuff. But it doesn't work when you actually have a functioning law and order guy like Trump, right? So they were going to siege the White House. Trump was going to get ready for him. Of course he was. He was going to be ready to arrest all those people the moment it got out of hand. And he'd already set the the framework to do that by deputizing the Oregon State Troopers, and that's why it's all dying down in Portland. People are being finally arrested, and now they're facing federal charges instead of local charges, which they should have faced. And I don't blame the federal government. I blame the local government. It's the fault of these Portland idiots, these zealots, these political zealots. They could have charged these kids, and they would have gotten light sentences, and they would have stopped, or they would have at least curbed back their violence. They wouldn't have thrown. They would have been like, okay, we're getting arrested every time we throw fireworks. We can't throw fireworks anymore. We can't shine lasers into people's eyes. We can't do that. We can't break windows and stuff. We're just going to be peaceful. They'd have been forced to do that. Instead, they let it get so out of hand. Now the federal government has to step in. They're going away for 5, 10 years. Some of these people more. The one woman in Philly faces 80 years for torching 2 police cars. She wouldn't have to face that if local governments did their job. And if, you know, they didn't let it get out of hand in the first place. So ad busters, you know, they probably said to themselves, can we keep this peaceful? And the answer is no, you can't keep it peaceful anymore. Not now. Maybe a year from now, if you do a peaceful protest, you could, but not this November. What are you, crazy? You know exactly what's going to happen. Antifa will show up. You won't be able to get rid of them. They're probably all already creeping in your ranks, or you certainly have some people who are very sympathetic to them, a little too sympathetic, and you probably know who they are. And the moment they get there, they're going to egg the crowd on. They're going to start passing out bricks. They're going to sneak in Molotov cocktails. They're going to be whispering into the ear of every idiot in the crowd saying, these cops are going to kill you, man. You got to strike at them before they strike at you. The revolution's here. What are you doing? Why are you just standing here? And they've done this before. And this is the way gangs work. This is the way criminals work. They get other people to commit the crimes whenever they can. Because they quickly realize, well, I can't keep committing all the crimes. Eventually, I'll go to jail. It's smarter to get other people to commit the crimes, especially people who don't have records. Then they get off and they come back to you and you can say, well, you got a criminal record now, but it's a small one. Yeah, me, they would have put me away for 10 years. They only put you away for 6 months. You're fine. Here's a couple of bucks. Let's go have a beer. That's the way they are. And they're going to use you again and again until finally you wake up or you start using people below you. That's what the mob guys have always done. They're not stupid. If they got a crime to commit or a nefarious scheme, the best bet is to get someone else to carry it out. You get a patsy. You let them take the risk. And then you take the fruits of their labor. It's common sense. So that's exactly what the Antifa guys are going to do. The high-end guys. There's not too many of them. The real violent guys. But eventually they're going to run out of patsies because this whole trend is starting to die. And this is part of the trend dying. Now that Adbusters isn't going to do this siege well, and all the protest riots are dying down in even Portland, what are you going to do next? Well, now you're going to have to wait for the next shooting and try to jack people up again. But next time it may not work. Next time the cops will come out in full force to keep everybody calm, and you won't even have the rioting to begin with. I mean, the riot in Lancaster shouldn't have even happened. They released the cam. They released the body cam footage almost immediately, and it was clear that that cop had no choice. A knife-wielding maniac came at him. What was he supposed to do? Just die? Nobody supports that. Nobody wants the cop to die. Nobody wants anybody to die. So, hey, you go at a cop with a knife. I don't blame him for shooting him. I do not blame him one iota. I can't think of a single scenario in which a cop wouldn't shoot a guy coming at him with a knife. Now I say coming at him, not like a guy with a knife necessarily, but even a guy with a knife is dangerous, depends on the situation. But if a guy charges at you with the knife, yeah, you got to shoot him. I showed you that video of the two cops who, man, they shot up that guy. He just kept getting up. He just kept getting up. Some people on PCP, they don't feel anything. They feel nothing. They've got literally holes in their body. Blood is pouring out of them. They don't know they've been shot until their body just collapses underneath them. Their brain is completely immune. They're not feeling any pain. They are incredibly dangerous when somebody's on PCP. Incredibly. So, I mean, I don't know if you remember the Terminator movie. That was the cop's explanation the first time he fought the Terminator. He said, oh, the guy must have been on PCP. And, so yeah, and there are guys on PCP and all kinds of drugs. You don't know what they're going to do. And if they got a knife, you got to take them down. And that guy had already stabbed 4 people. I think he had a serious problem. Yeah. So, Adbusters, look, I applaud you for trying to organize a peaceful protest, but you obviously have realized that That is now impossible. So stick to your art this year. That's about all you can do. Um, thanks for playing our game, but the last thing we need is for you guys to do, I don't know, 50 J's of improv jazz in front of the White House and have Antifa use you as a front so they could throw rocks or projectiles at the White House via their patsies. Yeah, we don't need that right now. Keep doing your magazine. I think your magazine's cool. For as long as magazines exist. I think you guys might need to start doing more multimedia. Yeah, maybe like an Instagram page. I'm sure you have one, or something more subversive. Yeah, you probably can't do Instagram, right? Get do something subversive. Why don't you guys do an app? Yeah, or a platform. Oh, subversive platform. That would be big. A subversive art platform. I'd be down with that.